Okay, just to recall, we are done with pointer types. I hope so. So, am I correct? We are done with pointers, right? So, reference types, value types, and even I told you the valuable interview questions. Okay, so these pointer types we never use. Okay, but these are available. But for code safety, nobody encourages you to work on pointers in .NET. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the basic uh, statements available in .NET C Sharp. Sorry. So as everybody knows, C, these we have conditional statements. These are very much important in C Sharp, as these are the way to write your program to execute logically. Okay, so how we have different types of conditional statements here. One is if else ladder, okay, switch, and then statements with operator question mark. Okay, these are different types of conditional statements available. We will discuss each one in detail. Okay, now I am going to discuss about if condition. Okay, so this if condition, this condition is used to execute a block of statements if the condition is true. If not true, it will execute the block. If not true, it will not execute the block of statements. Okay, so there is a sample program I have written here. I will explain you through code. Okay, just a second. Are you able to hear now? Everybody able to hear? Hello. Okay, anybody has problem in seeing the screen or listening my uh, speech? Any problem in there? Shall I continue? Okay, so I'm continuing. Okay, this is Visual Studio 2013. So this code samples I have showed you. I hope everybody has taken the latest of this. Okay, this one I have created and I am giving all my training related code samples in this solution. Okay, you guys can access it at any point of time. Okay, day one over. Now this is day two. This is the program I have prepared for you guys. Okay, so here, are you guys able to see my screen? So here a simple if statement is explained with a working example. Okay, it takes an integer, it takes a number from the console. Okay, and then it executes, it checks whether it is an even number or not. Okay, it prints if it is an even number, it prints it is an even number, and not, it will not give any answer. That's what if condition will do. Okay, so for even numbers we use a percentage 2. Any number divided by 2 and the remainder is 0, we'll consider it as even number. So that same thing, a reminder we are getting here. So the remainder will give, if it is 0, we are considering that as an even number. Okay, we'll run this example and we'll see. Sorry. Okay, this one. Okay, 2 is an even number. Okay, you can see that. So this is what if statement. This is mainly used to check a single condition. If that is true, it will execute a block of statements. A block of statement means if you keep a set of statements inside these curly brackets, open and close, we call it as a block. Okay, these are the block of statements. Okay, this is a sample program for if statement, and after this we have if else statement. So this is used to execute two blocks of statements, one at a time. Okay, based on the condition result. If true, it executes if block. If false, it executes the else block. Okay, so we have sample for that too. So I'm commenting this one. Okay, so if the code, if the number, given number is divided by 2 and remainder is 0, it is an even number. If not, it is an odd number. Okay, that's what our program has to return return to the output. Okay, we'll check that now. So 3 is an odd number. Okay, this is how the if else is used. Okay, and then here only we have if else ladder. One more, if else ladder means it is mainly used to check a bunch of execute a bunch of block of statements one at a time based on condition defined for each block. Okay, so if I want to validate particular conditions, okay, a number of conditions at a time, if that is only defined for one condition, if else that is defined for only either true or false. Okay, but if else later, you what you can do is here you can define number of conditions. If whichever is true, it will execute that block. Okay, that's what, if everything not matching the condition, then it will execute the last one else block. Okay, that is what if else ladder. Okay, so we have example for that too. Okay, so now enter a person name to process. Okay, so this person name, you have to enter some person name. Okay, if that person name matches any of the things here, okay, you can see here. So whichever matches the name, the particular line, the block of statements will be executed. Okay, I am entering some name called Murli. It says, "How are you, Murli?" Okay, so means it goes to this particular control, this particular block, and executes from here. So if you want to debug also this program, you can debug in Visual Studio. The debugging is very easy. That is another factor why people love .NET. Okay, so debugging, you just on this line, you put your cursor and press F9 key. It will put a breakpoint. Okay, when you click on F5, okay, I will close this output window and again run. Okay, if you put and this one, and after putting the breakpoint, if you want to execute this, just press F5. Okay, this will give you, it will stop at the breakpoint where you put the breakpoint. From there the execution will start, means the execution when enters that point, it will give you the control. So by pressing F10, okay, you can move to next statement. Okay, so here console.readline, what we are doing here, we have to input some name. Okay, it asks for a name. Now I am going to enter Ganesh. Okay, so it took the, again it came back. If you want to see what is in what's the value in the name variable, you just focus on that variable, it will give you the value here whatever. Okay, and now this will take you to the appropriate matching condition. So the very first thing, name equal to John, it is wrong, so it won't enter that block, it will come to the next block. Okay, if name equal to Ganesh, yes, true, so it will enter inside. Okay, it will just come out and it won't execute the remaining statements. Okay, so hello Ganesh it prints. Okay, this is what if else ladder you can write like that, n numbers. Okay, that's what this is to validate multiple conditions one at a time. Okay, that's what if else ladder. And now we have a switch. Okay, switch statement. Okay, this switch statement is again same like if else ladder, but the thing is it is much more better and performant than if else ladder. Okay, it also executes. So switch means the name itself says switch between the cases. So if the case, the name is John, then you execute these statements. If the case is Ganesh, then you execute these statements. And the break statement is very much important in this switch statement. Okay, otherwise it will execute the remaining cases. So if you want to see how it executes, okay, I will explain you. First we will see the switch, how it works. Okay, the same way how if else ladder works, this also works in the same way. So when name equal to John, it will execute these lines. If Ganesh, it will execute these lines, and if it is Murli, it will execute these lines. Okay, I have to enter some name. Okay, I have entered John. It came. Okay, it executes that particular and breaks and comes out of that switch statement directly. Okay, so now welcome Mr. John. Okay, so this switch has one advantage as well as you can say it has a disadvantage. Okay, if you have some common conditions, if you want to execute something very common between two or three conditions, you can use switch statement. If you forget at the same time to put this breakpoint, it will cause a it will cause your code to execute many things in parallel. Okay, so it is asking case, so we have written some statements, so we don't need any statement. Okay, what it will do, so if you don't enter any statements, then if you enter John or Ganesh whatever, it will say hello Ganesh. Okay, we'll see that also. Okay, I'm entering John, it says hello Ganesh. So these cases, if you don't enter any statements, it will, the control will go to next case and it will execute as a common thing for these two. If you want to define a common functionality or common statements, if you want to keep for two conditions, you can keep it here. In if else also, if else ladder also, this may be possible, this is possible, but in case switch, it is much more visible and you can execute very easily. Okay, this is what about switch case. Okay, Now we'll see the conditional statement using question mark operator. Okay, this is an inline operator used to execute a statement based on the condition and to return the result. Okay, if you see in this program, if the name is Ganesh, I want to return his salary as 10,000 rupees. If not, I want to return some 25,000. Okay, so if you want to execute some statements based on a condition and you want to return some values, you use this inline conditional statement. Okay, we call it as inline conditional statement. Okay, so by using if also you can execute this, but this is much more easy when you want to keep it in a line. Okay, so we'll see this example. Okay, now I'm entering name something like Ra. It will return. Oh, there is also one name. Okay, Ram. So Ram salary is 25,000. Okay, just a minute, guys. Okay, sorry guys. So this inline statement, this is mainly to return some values based on the condition. Okay, that's where we use this question operator, question mark operator. Okay, so so with this we covered some five types of conditional statements. One is if, another is if else, and after that we have if else later. Okay, after that question mark operator, and after that we have switch statement. Okay, these are the main things we use in our day-to-day programming life, and these are very much essential. Okay, for a programmer we have to remember this. Any doubts you can ask me now, or you guys are clear? Okay, I hope you guys are clear. So I will continue with the next thing. Okay, that is looping statements. Okay, these looping statements, uh, these are mainly used to execute a block of statements for finite times, or looping statements are used to iterate through a collection or an array, or if you want to execute a block of statements until the iteration completes. Okay, so these are mainly used for that. We have five types of loops here. Okay, one is for loop, another is while loop, and third is do while, fourth is for each, and fifth is go to label. If you are familiar with C, all these are available in C. Okay, so only for each is a different one that we will discuss later in these chapters when we are dealing with collections, arrays. That time we can discuss with for each loop. Okay, now we'll discuss about for loop, while loop, do while, and go to label. These are the things we are going to discuss now. Okay, the very first thing, for loop. This is used to execute a block of statements for finite number of times. Okay, if you see a number, you are taking a number here int n. Okay, for this you will pass some whatever number you want, and you want to print. I will uh, this number will be printed the number of times what you have given input. Okay, this for loop, if you see the syntax here, for I equal to 0 and I less than n and I plus plus. So here this for loop executes until the condition is true. Means the very first block in for loop, in those brackets you can see I equal to 0. So it initiates the I value from 0, and the very next statement is I less than n. It validates every time that I is less than n or not, and then it executes the condition inside the for block. Okay, those curly brackets which are inside the curly brackets, those statements will be executed, and then your I value will be increased. Okay, so if you enter n value 10 and you are executing your loop, the very first time I value will be 0 and n is 10. So 0 less than 10, and it is true, so this console.writeLine will execute and it will print iteration 0, and then the I value will be increased. It is now 1, and it validates again I 1 less than 10 or not, and it is true, it will print iteration 1. Like that it will execute till 9. Okay, iteration 9 also will be printed, then I value will be increased 10, increase it to 10. So 10 less than 10, it's wrong. So what it will do, it will exit that loop, and it comes out of that loop. Okay, we'll see this for loop example here. Okay, so this program is designed to take, so if you want to execute whichever loop you can execute. So the very first is for loop, so I'm entering 1. Okay, so please enter a number to run the loop that number of times. So I'm entering 10. So it gives iteration 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is what the for loop. Okay, so if you want to break and if you want to debug this program, you can debug. It gives you whatever I explained, the same thing you can see on the iterations. Okay, this is for loop, and now I am moving on to while loop. Okay, this is another type of loop which executes based on a condition. Until the condition false, the loop keeps execute sorry until the condition is false, the loop keeps executing. Once the condition is false, it exits from the loop. This checks the condition first and executes the block of statements. Okay, so this is the main thing. So for loop that executes the number of times whatever you have given. So there is a boundary. So if you give 10, it has to execute 10 number of times. That's the max it can execute. But while loop, you can execute n number of times. Means if you manually, if you change something, if you fails the condition manually or sometime, that time only it will exit the loop, otherwise it will keeps on executing. And there is a problem in this also. If you keep that one, if you are not changing the value, it goes to an infinite loop and your program will crash. Okay, so this while loop here I have given a simple example. So you have to enter a name. If the name is not equal to exit, it will keeps on uh, executing the block of statements inside it. Once you enter exit statement, then automatically the loop will be exited. Okay, so we'll see this program. So now I am giving 2. Please enter a name to start the executing the loop. This loop will continue until you enter exit. Okay, so hi. So wrong name entered. continuing the loop, iteration number 0. Okay, now iteration number 1, please wrong name entered. Okay, like this, whatever you enter, it keeps on going. So if I enter name exit, it exited. Okay, that's what this program does. Okay, this way you can take user choice of, and if you want to execute a program recurringly, like something, do you want to execute one more time, do you want to test your application one more time, like that. In those scenarios, people use while loop or do while loop to question that one until and unless you enter no. Okay, so that is while loop, and after that we have do while loop. So this do while loop also it is also executes based on a condition, but the major difference between while and do while is, so while that checks the condition then executes the block of statements, but here in do while it executes the block of statements then checks the condition. So at least one time this do while loop executes your block of statements. That's the advantage of do while loop. Okay. Other than that, nothing difference between while and do while. Okay. This one also we'll see an example. Now we are going with do while 3. Okay. So please enter exit. So inside that, whatever is there, it executed first. Okay. I'm giving something. Finally exit, it exits. Okay, this is what do while loop. And now finally we have go to label. So this is one more dangerous programming by using go to. If you don't know anything, it will break your it will go to an infinite loop. If you don't handle this properly, it will give you your program a miserable end. Okay, so this one you can, so here what it will do is you have a go to label, so you just put some name and you end that name with colon, and after that you write whatever statements. After some time, if you want to move to the same label, okay, you just put go to that label whatever name you have given. It will the control will jump to the label where it started, and it executes all the statements in between that label and go to whatever statements are there. Okay, this is again a dangerous programming. Nobody encourages to write go to labels. Okay, if you write like that, if you forget to do something, if you forget to handle this properly, your program again ends in an infinite loop. Okay, I will give you an example for this. So that is 5, enter your name. Okay, gives, and again enter your name. See this one, infinitely it is going, there is no end. It keeps on asking you. Only way is you exit the program by using control plus C, otherwise it won't exit, or you close this window manually. Okay, programmatically you can't do anything. That's what this program. Okay, that's what go to label. Okay, so I would like to give you guys some assignment. Okay, so this is a this is an assignment I would like to give you guys to uh, write, and you yourself write this one and come tomorrow we can discuss about these programs. Okay, what are the answers, what are the best ways to do. Okay, so the program I will give you one example among these not these programs, I will give you another example, I will explain you that program, but you have to come up with the solution for these programs. Okay, so write a program to print first 10 prime numbers. I hope all of you know what are prime numbers, right? You guys know? Can somebody answer me? You guys know? Yeah. So please write a program to list first 10 prime numbers. Okay. Means print. You just need to print to output. Okay. Write a program to print first 10 Fibonacci series numbers. So you guys know Fibonacci series? I hope you guys know Fibonacci series. Or else, if you want, I will explain the series what it is. Okay, so this is my notepad. I am giving so 1. Okay, so it starts from 0. Sorry, 1. So if you add 1, this is again 1. So you have to add always previous two numbers. The third number is the previous two numbers, sum of previous two numbers. Okay. Now if my number is 1, so there won't be any number. So the next number will be 1. So the next number, sum of these two. So 1 plus 1, 2. The next number, sum of previous 2 means 2 plus 1, 3. So the next number will be 3 plus 2, 5. Next number 8. Next number 13. Next number 21. How many over now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Okay. 34. 9. Next 45. Okay. So until 45 you have to your program has to list first 10 Fibonacci numbers. So I should see these numbers. Okay. Your program has to print these 10 numbers. Okay, and write a program to print the below pattern. So if you see the plus, it is a it's just like a triangle, it is printing. Okay, the same way I want to see on your programs. Okay, so you people can explain each one program you can explain tomorrow. Okay, now I will explain you a program now how a pattern will be printed. Okay, so this is first week assignment. Okay, in this I have a program. So what it will print is, it prints like this. First, the star marks it will print. Okay, so this star marks it prints like that. So you guys know about this projects, creating projects and how to work, or you guys have any doubt? Okay, I'm giving 5. So see, it is just like a linear thing. So it starts with 1 star, next line 2 stars, third line 3 stars. Each line the stars are growing. Okay, this is how I want the pattern, whichever I shown here. So this you can print the same way how I printed here. So I have taken 5 number. I have given the entry number to build the pyramid. So what I have given 5 number. So what it is doing, so it is first 2 for loops I have taken, okay, to print it. Because so one for loop can print only 5 at max, 5 stars it can print. Okay, so if I don't take second loop, it won't print any, means these many lines I won't be able to print. Okay, and my first line has to print only 1 star. So that time my inner loop, always the limit of inner loop is the number of outer loop or external loop. So the first loop's value, okay, the first loop iterator value is the limit for second loop's iterator. Okay, the iterator means here 1, it iterates the loop, the value increases. Okay, so this the limit of the second loop is always the first loop's iterator value. Okay, and now inside my inner loop I am printing the star. So when it prints, the very next time I have to, once this inner loop is over, I need a new line, so I am using console.write line. But within the same loop I want the stars side by side, so I am using console.write. So console.write, what it will do, it will print whatever you have given in that in the same line. If you use console.write line, it prints in the next line. Okay, that's what with those with these two functionalities help I am doing side by side. Whichever you see here are side by side in horizontal, these are printed using console.write. Okay, whichever printed in next line, they are because of console.write line. Okay, this is what my program. Okay, any doubts you can ask me now, or you guys are good? So this assignment you have to try, and you have to come tomorrow's class. Okay, and if you have any doubts in Visual Studio, please ask me now so that I can explain you, so that you can write programming very well. Not first two questions, the three questions you have to write. Okay, so the third also a pyramid, which is not similar to mine. Okay, so this one, if you see, it is only left aligned everything. Okay, but whatever the pyramid I have given here, this the top one starts in the center, and it is just like a triangle, so it is spreading two ways. You got it right? So these three programs you guys have to work on, and tomorrow you have to explain me. Okay, so any doubts on Visual Studio, you can ask me now, or if you guys are good, uh, we'll close the session for today. Tomorrow we'll start with string operations and arrays. Okay, you guys are good? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to close this session. Okay, tomorrow we'll work with the string operations and arrays. Okay, with this our basics, the very basics of C sharp will be completed. Okay, and we will move to some advanced concepts or Windows forms like that. Okay, so any Visual Studio related questions you ask me anytime. So yeah, the recordings anyway I shared with you guys, but you might have missed it. So I have uploaded it in YouTube for your my channel. Okay, this is the URL where you can get my YouTube videos. Okay, this previous trainings and everything. Okay, and this is the material whichever I am presenting you guys. You can access there. Okay, and then the code I have already explained you guys how to uh, clone or how to get this repository stored on visualstudio.com. You can get my these code samples also you can get. Okay, if you want I will explain you once again how to get these code samples. Okay, or you guys or you guys can refer my previous session. Okay, day 2 session, there I explained how to get these repositories. Okay, so any more doubts? Okay, shall I close this session? So tomorrow, please work on this assignment and come with your solutions. We'll discuss first in the class about these programs. Then we will move on to strings and arrays. Okay. Okay. So I'm closing this session. Thank you. Have a good day.